Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Madeline. Today's class is going to be focused on our abs, specifically low abs and inner thighs. And for today's class, we're going to be using two pieces of equipment. We've got our Pilates ball and our hand weights. I'm going to be using 2 pounds today. We're not going to be using them a whole lot, but I would recommend light weights if you have them. Totally up to you. If you don't have any equipment, all good. Just modify without. So when you're ready, you can meet me on the mat. We're gonna meet in a child's pose. So take your knees wide, about mat width, your toes come to touch, and your hips sink down towards your heels. We're gonna walk our hands all the way forward and sink our chest down to the mat. Maybe resting your forehead down, letting it rest on the mat if that feels comfortable. We're just gonna be here for 3 breaths. I want you to start by breathing in through your nose, filling yourself all the way up into your back body. And as you exhale, let something go. On your next breath in, let's breathe into that intention, the way that we want to feel today, the way you want to move through this class. And as you exhale, let something go that's not serving you. One more breath here, breathing into that intention, making it the biggest breath you've had all day. And as you exhale, give me a sigh. We're going to pull forward into a tabletop position. So bring your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Let's start with a few cat-cows here. So sink the belly low, open up through the chest, jaw the shoulders back. And as you exhale, we round, separating through the shoulders. Let's do a few here. We inhale, open up through the chest, sink the belly low. And exhale, round. Let's go one more here. Make it nice and big. Opening up through the chest, sinking down through the belly. And exhale, round. We'll meet in a neutral tabletop position. Flatten out through your back. Extend your right leg all the way long and your left arm forward. So opposite arm and leg. Hold here and feel your low belly plug in. So we're gonna start to engage through those abs, but specifically focusing on the low abs. As you exhale, draw a knee and elbow in towards center and round through your back. As you inhale, go long. Exhale, round. And inhale, go long. Let's go for 5, 4, moving with your breath. For 3, for 2, we're gonna hold it long on this next one. Extend arm and leg, reach, 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 and pulse. Arm and leg up 1 inch and down 1 inch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your arm and leg, tuck the toes and press into all 10 fingers. We send the hips all the way back for downward dog. Pedaling out through your heels here, noticing how your body's feeling. We'll take a few breaths here to just open up through the backs of the legs. Releasing through the shoulders, letting your head hang heavy. We're here for 3. For 2, we're gonna pull forward into high plank. So grip into all 10 fingers and pull forward. Hold here. Again, feel that low belly plug in. Think about your ribs knitting together in through your center line. And from here, we're gonna tap the knees and lift. Tap the knees and lift. So you should start to feel this engage in your low belly, just under your belly button. Think about pulling that all the way up to your spine. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna come back into tabletop. Drop those knees, back into tabletop. Let's take one cat-cow here. Open up through the chest, sink the belly low. And exhale, round. Meet back in that neutral spine position. We extend the left leg long and the right arm forward. Hold here for a breath. Plug that low belly in, knit your ribs together, and as you exhale, draw the knee and elbow together. Inhale, go long. Exhale, round. Inhale, go long. For 4, for 3, for 2, last one, hold it long and pulse up 1 inch and down 1 inch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, tuck your toes, send your hips all the way back, pedaling out through the heels. All right, we've got one more round of those knee taps. So when you're ready, we're gonna pull forward into high plank, hold here. Feel that low belly plug in and your ribs knit together in through center. We're gonna tap the knees and lift. Tap and lift, just for 5, 4, 3. We're moving onto the ball next in 2. Drop the knees. All right, grab that ball. Now we're going to engage the low abs and the inner thighs at the same time. So place that ball in between your legs if you're using it. We're in that tabletop position, so hands are under your shoulders and knees are under your hips. Tuck the toes, and we're gonna come to a hover with those knees. So lift yourself up so your knees are hovering just about an inch above the mat. So similar position to what we just did with those knee taps. We're pulling up through the low belly. Let's just hold here for a breath. I want you to be pressing out through your shoulders, nice and long from the top of your head out your tailbone. And we're gonna tap the knees and lift. We lower and lift, lower and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up on this next one. Squeeze that ball and release. Squeeze, release for 5, 4, 3, 2. Can you hold the squeeze and tap the knees? Lift, tap and lift. So this should really be firing up your low belly and your inner thighs. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. You can sink your hips back for a breath. Keep the ball where it is if that's okay with you. Just relax here. All right, now we're a little bit warmed up, so let's spin the legs around. Take this ball with us as well as your weights. So grab onto those weights and bring them back so they're easily accessible by your shoulders. So we're gonna come all the way down onto our backs and we're gonna place that ball underneath our feet. I'm just gonna set these off to the side. So ball is underneath your feet. This is gonna create a little bit of instability. So it's gonna encourage us even more to engage through the low abs. If at any point the ball becomes too much, set it off to the side, it's all good. So right now we've got our feet on the ball. I want you to just relax your feet, but while we do these crunches, keep the ball as steady as possible. So take your hands behind your head and your elbows wide. We're just gonna start with a crunch. So we're gonna lift through the upper body, look towards the knees as your feet stay on the ball, okay? Then we lower down. We lift as you exhale and lower down. So while you're in this position, keep your knees touching. Okay, you should feel that a little bit in your inner thighs. It's creating some stabilization. And all the while you're using your breath. So you exhale as you lift and inhale as you lower. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up on this next one. Okay, so your feet are resting on that ball. We're gonna open the knees and close. Open the knees and close. So planting the balls of your feet on the ball, but try not to grip too tight through your toes, okay? So it's like you're almost pointing your foot and keeping the ball of your foot on the ball. Nice. So we open the knees and close. We're lifted through the chest. You might not feel this at first, but it is going to start to warm up those low abs. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Let's reset. Our next move, we're going to extend the legs long, rolling out on the ball. And as you pull the knees in, we lift up into that crunch. So we lower the head, neck, and shoulders as the legs go long. Draw the knees in, rolling on that ball as you lift through the shoulders. All right, move with your breath. We go long and lower, lift and pull it in, lengthen and lift. Nice. All right, if you're not feeling the low abs by now, I want you to try even more to tuck that tailbone. So think about pressing your low back into the mat if you're not feeling it on your low abs. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2. We reset right here. Bend those knees, reset your feet on the ball, and lower your head, neck, and shoulders. Okay, we've got one more move here. We're gonna combine that sequence that we just did. So we're gonna lift out of the head, neck, and shoulders. We're gonna open the knees. We close the knees. We extend the legs long, and as the knees draw in, we lower the upper body, okay? Lift, open, close, extend, draw it in, and lower. Lift, open, close, extend, draw it in, and lower. So just move at your own pace here, but really think about pulling everything in through that center line. Focus obviously here on the low abs. So think about your belly button and pulling it all the way back towards your spine. Nice, let's just go for 3. And lower for 2. Open, close, extend, pull it in, and lower. Last one, open, close, extend, pull it in, and lower. You can grab that ball between your feet, hand it up to your hands, and just take a breath. All right, how are we feeling? We're gonna move on to inner thighs, but we're still gonna be working the abs here. So we're gonna move into a hip bridge sequence. That ball's gonna come in between your inner thighs and you're gonna grab onto those weights. So just reach your fingertips long and see if you can tickle your heels. That's about how far away they should be from your bum. And then I want your feet in line with your hips. So we're gonna start by extending those arms all the way up. I've got 2-pound weights here. That ball is between your inner thighs, and we're gonna lift through the pelvis, tucking the tailbone 1 vertebrae at a time, coming into that hip bridge. So we have a little squeeze on the ball, and by little squeeze, what I mean is I want you to just feel a little bit of activation, but it shouldn't be anything too intense. We're engaging through the pelvic floor, pulling in and up through our whole center, and we're just gonna hold our hips high while we move the arms to start. So the arms are gonna draw down for a chest press, coming into a 90-90 bend, and then we lift all the way up. So we lower and lift, lower and lift. All right, so we're pressing through the arms, but we're really tucking through the tailbone as well. So you'll feel this in your glutes, the backs of your legs, while the focus remains on our low abs. So just moving with the arms for 10, 9, 8, 7, for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the arms up on this next one. We keep the arms there, we move the hips, we tap to the mat and lift. Tap and lift, tap and lift. As you lift, we squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone. Tap and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the hips up on this next one, tap the knees together. We squeeze the ball, trying to change the shape. Little pulse, 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 pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the hips up, maybe lift 1 more inch. We're gonna lift the heels and lower. Lift heels and lower for 8, 7, 6. Don't drop those hips for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you have the option, either keep the heels lifted or lower them down if it's too much. We're taking a little pulse at the top, 1 inch up and 1 inch down with those hips for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up. Maybe your heels are still lifted. Lift, lift, lift through the hips and squeeze the ball to finish for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down. You can drop the weights off to the side. Nice work. Let's take that ball out from the inner thighs and just let the knees windshield wiper one side to the other, releasing any tension in your low back. All right, we've only got a couple more moves left, so stick with me here. One more twist to either side, and we're gonna meet back with the knees in center. So we're gonna lift the knees up into tabletop, take that ball and place it between your ankles. All right, you've got your weights close by. We're gonna start without the weights. Hands come behind your head. So knees are in tabletop, stacked directly up over your hips. Ball is between your inner thighs. So let's just start with a crunch. So knees are parallel with your ankles. The trick here is to keep an engagement of your inner thighs while also plugging in through that low belly, low back, pressed into the mat, okay? We're gonna start with a crunch. We lift and lower, lift and lower. Just for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up. So chest is lifted. We tap the knees and release. Tap the knees, release. Again, this is one of those ones that it takes a few reps to start feeling it, but you will feel it in those inner thighs. Let's tap, release. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reset, upper body lowers. You can take your hands to the mat beside your hips. Again, knees are stacked over your hips and in line with your ankles. We're just gonna start to extend the legs long. Keep that ball in between your ankles and then draw the knees back over the hips. Extend and bend, extend and bend. So check in with that low back. Is it imprinted into the mat, pressing down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Drop those feet. Keep the ball in between your ankles. We are coming to the finish line here. All right, so that ball is in between your ankles. Let's take our weights. We're gonna lift them up overhead. As we crunch, imprint your low back into the mat, press it down. So arms are all the way back. We're lifting up, bringing the weights forward and crunching. We lower back down, lift the arms up overhead. We lift and lower, lift and lower. Let's go for 6, 5, for 4, 3, 2, hold it up on this next one. Reach the weights all the way long. Now tap the knees, release. Tap the knees. So if you're squeezing your ankles tight enough, that ball should be creating a little bit of resistance. We tap, tap, tap. As you lift through your chest, plug that belly back as you tap your knees for 8, 7. We finish here in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it. Squeeze those knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower all the way down. Set all of your props off to the side, and you can rock up to seated. Let's just take soles of the feet together, knees apart. Open up through the inner thighs. You can use your elbows to press your knees open as you hold onto your ankles, or maybe you hold onto your big toe. Taking those peace fingers, letting your head and neck fall forward and relax. One more breath here. And then take a comfortable cross-legged position. Let's just do one little stretch here to open up through the neck. So take your arms wide, interlace your hands behind your head, and open your elbows. We inhale as we open and exhale as we draw the chin towards the chest and bring your elbows in through center. We open as you inhale and exhale as you round. Just go for 3. For 2. and 1. Make it nice and deep on this next round for 3, for 2, and 1. Come all the way back up. Let's take a deep breath together, arms wide and up. Breathe all the way in and exhale. Hands come through heart center. Lock in all that good energy. Amazing work. You should feel very proud that you took the time to get on the mat. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that class. Please let me know in the comments or reach out to me on IG and let me know what you thought, what you'd like to see more of, and I hope to see you back soon.